Hello and welcome to 110 Yards. I'm Coach Aaron Page, uh, the Canadian coaching American football in Denmark. Today I'm speaking with Mattias Eriksson from Sweden, Karlstad, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So Mattias, we met when he was playing in Kuopio, but he became a good friend of mine. And as you can tell, his English is super good. It's not like the stereotypes, that Family Guy Swedish baker. Welcome to Finn's
Yeah. Yeah.
Bakery, So I always tease him for about that.
uh,
Uh,
yeah.
so how's things in Sweden? You guys getting a lot of snow, I imagine now, and everything like that.
It's all good. It's all good. We've had a lot of rain where I live, so it's not as cold as we maybe would like it to be, but it's all right. It's good.
I don't know if I would like it to be cold, but that's why I'm not Swedish. But so
You are Canadian though.
that's true. Um,
Yeah.
so growing up in Sweden, how did you discover American football and your club, the Karlstad Crusaders? Was that the first club you started
Yep.
with, which is
hmm
one of the better clubs in Europe? So take me through all that growing up as a kid.
Well, basically, I think I tried out like most sports here. The big sports around are maybe it's hockey, soccer, maybe floorball. Um, I think I tried out most of it, but nothing really stuck. I don't think I was particularly good at any of them. But then I think it was some friends that found out about this American football thing and just tried it out, and it stuck.
Okay, and so you play linebacker when I met you, but is that where you started, or did you sort of try out the various positions and then end up finding your home at the linebacker spot?
Yeah, I think most people try a bit of everything, right? I
Yeah.
can particularly remember one bus ride to an away game. I think I started out when I got on that bus, I was a tight end only. Um, but during the bus ride, we had a guy that he didn't really want to play uh, safety. He didn't want to play defense at all. So, all right, Matthias, you're moved to safety. Uh, and then comes game time. Someone gets hurt. I get moved to outside linebacker. Uh, make a bunch of tackles. I think maybe someone else gets hurt. Hurt. I can't remember. I get moved to middle linebacker, and I've stayed there ever since.
Nice. And so coming up through the Crusaders program, eventually you moved on and were in university and had an opportunity to go to Canada. Now, I don't know if exactly you were what the plan was there, but you discovered they had a football team and reached out. Like, talk me through because it's rare that a guy from Europe will go to Canada and play. There's a bunch of
Mm.
guys that have gone to the States, prep schools or whatever, but to go to Canada, what was that like?
Right. Of course, like for most guys that take football serious here in Europe, like it's a dream to go and play it on the other side of the Atlantic. And I got my chance to go during my um, university studies. So I went as an exchange student as a part of my bachelor's degree. We had a chance to take one semester abroad. So I saw this as my chance to maybe play football somewhere else and try that out. So I filled in my application uh, without knowing if I would play football at all. But when I found out I was going to Laurier, the first thing I did was email all the coaches that I could find on the website and send tapes and everything. And eventually, I was fortunate enough to be invited to training camp. So that was how I found my way there.
And so, I spoke with a couple of guys, like a guy named Caleb who had played at U of T, being American,
Mm.
so that was different for him. But for you coming up, you learn the rules and then you show up in Canada, which, I can imagine was a shock basically to see that we play the game a little bit differently.
Right.
How did you find that? And what was like, what stuck out like right away with the rule differences?
I think first of all I underestimated just how different it would be um, coming there. Like everything we do here is more just going to university, you know. But when it comes to the rules, as a linebacker, what stood out to me was that you have no idea what kind of formation the offense is running until the ball is snapped. With all the motions, I just saw receivers going past me all the time. I had no idea what was going on. So that took a lot of like readjusting from my part. And then coming from 4 down football to 3 down football, the field was huge, you know, and especially I think football here in Europe might be a little more run oriented. And coming out there where the field is huge and you have all this motion stuff going on, it is obviously more pass oriented. So that was a big like thing for me too.
Yeah, and especially at the linebacker position. I plan to do an episode where I kind of go over all the rule variations
Mm,
about Canadian football and stuff like that. But just in a nutshell, when you're playing linebacker in the Canadian game, typically in American, you see a tight end or a wing back, and they're set, where they're at. You can shift and alter your gap situation. But in Canadian, that fullback can motion down to the line at the last
right.
second, and now you have to, decide as your team shifting and you're gapping over. So
Mm,
all that stuff you're trying to work on the fly. Plus, you have to get into your pass drop a little bit quicker. So it's a
right.
faster game for the linebackers, and you're almost a little bit more hybrid. Like, do you think playing in
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
helped you come back and play a little bit faster in Sweden when you
Oh
returned?
yeah, for sure, for sure. I learned so much while I was away, and that was kind of the goal as well. I just want to soak up as much knowledge as possible, and yeah, I really got to do that over at Laurier.
And so Laurier, that's a fun school to be at, and in Canada, it's not like the States where you got to wait till you're 21 to go out and have fun. Like, what
Right.
did you enjoy the Canadian university party experience?
Oh, I
It's
did. I did. It's special. It's special. Like it's, uh, out here we have like we see everything in the movies and stuff like that, and uh, it was it's very different. I can tell you that. I can remember going. We had our homecoming game, very big deal in at Laurier, and before every home game, we had a team breakfast. So I was walking uh, down to the team breakfast maybe around 8 a.m. and I see people playing beer pong out in their front yards, and it was just crazy. The culture and how people gather around like the sport event is the highlight of the day. That's special. It's great experience, and that's not something we don't really have here. Like we don't have school sports, so obviously, like seeing that culture, it was great.
Yeah, to have people that show, yeah, and that's the difference with the club system and the school system in the North America. Like, you have the tailgating, and everyone's like, it's a big event leading up to the game, and then as a player you kind of you miss out on that, but after the
Mhm.
game you get to go out and celebrate, and
Right.
enjoy the rest of the evening with people. um, so um, bringing it back to Sweden, you've taken what you learned. Did you pass it on to any of the players in Karlstad, um, after returning home from Canada?
Well, there's always like you learn is drills and you learn certain types of uh, techniques that we don't really work on here. And what struck me the most was like the emphasis on fundamentals that we might not have time for here when people are working, they have families and stuff like that. You gotta get the playbook in and you gotta like get people ready to play. And these like small details that really make a big difference in how you play. Um, that that was something that we're really focused on over there because we had the time. We practiced so much, and so that's a huge thing that I've brought back with me here. And It's something that I think is easy to kind of overlook, especially here in Europe.
That's true. Because with the limited practice time, I mean, that's the biggest battle I think coaches and players find is because football, is practice fundamentally, can be kind of boring and repetitive in a way,
Mm,
but you're trying to build those little skills and sometimes you don't have the time. Like you can spend a little bit on it, but we don't have the luxury like we do in North America
right.
where we can focus 20 minutes a day on the minute details. So it's
Mm,
finding that balance. Um, and when I saw you play in Finland, and we'll talk about how that journey arose. I saw a guy who really put in the work, and dude, you're a special player on the field. Like you were number two or in the league in tackles, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yep,
For
yep.
Kuopio. So how did that come down, and what was it like being a European import player, so to speak, getting paid to come to another country and play in the league and be recognized as one of the top players,
Mm,
where usually Americans or Canadians dominate that area?
yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, it was special. That's also one of these like bucket list things that I've had that I really wanted to do. Um, First off was the to play in North America, and now I got home, and next thing on the list was finish my university degree and then try out playing well professionally here in Europe. Um, and my season in Finland, it was maybe I didn't expect it to go that well. Uh, I know I'm a decent player, but it went really well. I really fit into that system. We played in Kuopio, and I had great teammates around me, especially playing with Donovan Hayden, which is a fantastic, fantastic player. Um, but that also comes down, I think, to just the amount of focus you can invest into the game playing professionally. That's the first time that I've had the chance to only focus on football. Playing back home, you have work, you have school, uh, everything like that. In when I was in Canada, I've never studied that much in my whole life, and
Yeah.
so just having the chance to fully invest into football, you have the time to take care of your body, you have the time to really study film and do all these things. That was huge for me, and that I think this season I had there really shows like how important these things really are.
Yeah, you were a gym rat like from day one when you showed up. I remember seeing you in the gym, and this man's like doing cleans and all this crazy, like throwing around some good weight. I was like, okay, I can't wait to see this guy what he does in the field, and then to be teamed up with a player like you said, Donovan Hayden, who flies around.
Mm,
He creates a lot of opportunities for you at that linebacker position
right.
because they're avoiding him. And then you were doing your own thing, whether it be on blitzes or dropping into pass coverage, taking away first option. It was really a treat to watch. And so in Kuopio we got along well. I was working with the women's team,
Yeah.
and we had some good times.
Yeah.
And I teased you a bit, about Swedish and IKEA and all that stuff. But one thing I thought was really cool, learning about where you're from is I want to tell people. I've been telling people about the when you say you want to say yeah, you go like you just like kind of suck
Right.
in air,
Right.
and
Yep.
people like they were like, you can't be serious. But let's talk about how like that's like a cultural thing in Sweden. You know,
Right. It's especially up north. I
yeah,
think that's a thing. Basically means yes.
yeah.
Like you don't waste energy here. It's too cold. Maybe that's it. So it means
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, you want to hit the gym? Just breathe in really quick,
Right.
make like a little, yeah. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
um, and yeah, and Sweden, I haven't been yet, but I hope once this COVID situation calms down, I can get out there. And I
Yeah, for
guess
sure.
Sweden for the COVID, like, how have you found? Because worldwide, you guys have handled it a little bit differently, and I know you're not involved with any of those decisions or anything.
Mm.
But how was it playing a season with that going on? And was there any barriers that you found, like, practice wise, or was it just kind of same as usual?
Well, of course, it's been strange. To begin with, our season was postponed, like first a month and then a month after that, and it went from we usually start in April, middle of April somewhere,
Yeah.
and it was pushed to the end of August. So like from usually having a spring season, we now had a fall season, and we had this summer where we were basically in limbo. Uh, you can barely practice. You have to practice without any contact whatsoever, and so we basically did a bunch of technique and fundamental things and whatever you can do to without any contact, and maintaining distance. So it was strange, but fortunately we were able to have a season. I know we're very fortunate in just in that regard. So it was just after all that time, to just be able to play. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, were envious of Sweden and Finland, who actually
Yeah.
got to have a season this year. And how did coming back from your season in Finland? How did it go this year with Karlstad playing back for your home club?
Yeah, it went well. We ended up with a national championship. It's my fourth national championship with the Crusaders, so that was huge. And taking it back after a 2-year losing streak in the finals. So it was a good season. It was big for the club, and yeah, I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, I was luckily the AFI streams made that game available
Mm,
worldwide, so I was watching and always looking for you out there on the field, and
yeah,
it was a great treat to see you play there. Um,
yeah, it's been great. Just the availability, maybe you can say, like of football this season. I think a lot of people has put in a lot of work to like American Football International to make the game available for as many people as possible.
yes, and now moving forward, where do you see your career? Are you going to stick around in Karlstad for a little while, or are you looking at potentially going around Europe again, signing with a team, getting into coaching? What's your plan, over the next little while with that?
I think right now I'm sticking around in Karlstad. Uh, I think I wanna I wanna win football games and bring championships home to my home team.
Yeah.
I think that's the primary now. But of course, I have that itch to just to go somewhere else and play football full time and like have the chance to just be out and about in the world. Being
Yeah.
fortunate and
Yeah,
have
and that
football take me places. So that's always like in the back of your mind too.
yeah. That's what I love. This is the fourth country I've now been in, so it is nice to go
Mm.
out and experience something new. Um, so with the holidays approaching, what sort of Swedish traditions you might think that are different than maybe Canada or other places that people wouldn't really know about?
Well, first of all, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, not the 25th. So Christmas Eve, right? Not Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Um, but
Julafton.
yeah, julafton. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty close. Right. I think that's it. But across the board, you just want to eat a lot of good food and spend time with your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning some of the traditions here in Denmark. I mean, fairly similar countries, like some language, but I think you guys feel like the Danes don't speak right, or what's the
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Like, yeah, for some reason they are able to understand us, but I don't understand Danish at all. It's
Yeah.
rough. It's rough.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn the ins and outs, and um there's a game they play here with some rice pudding, and there's like an almond in the pudding,
Right,
and
right.
if if you get that in your bowl, then you get a
Yeah,
special gift.
yeah, we do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun to play. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I mean, it, I appreciate you coming on and telling your story.
Yeah.
And I uh, I like to have guys on, not just like I've spoke with some Americans, about their experience here, but it's nice to talk
Mm,
to players who are actually coming up in these systems and getting to opportunity to be imports and
right.
stuff like that versus just, guys in my shoes doing the same thing. So I appreciate you coming on
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I
talking about
appreciate
it.
you having me.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoy your holidays, and, hopefully our paths cross again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome,
It's
man.
great seeing you, man.
Take care.
Yeah. Take care and good you.
Yeah, good.